Hey, I'm Dr. Don from the Russell Healing Institute, and we have a program where we're helping women this week to detox their marriage. Now, let me help you to understand what I mean when I say that, and let me help you understand kind of the mission and the vision underneath that drives us in what we do. We work with women that have been married, in some cases a short period of time, in some cases over 30 years. And women reach out to us because they identify that their marriage is struggling and they are deeply unsatisfied with the marriage, and nothing that they've tried has been able to improve the level of connection, intimacy, and interaction in the marriage. Women reach out to us because they identify that their husband seems to be a narcissist or have narcissistic traits. And so they are wondering, is there anything that will improve this relationship? And very typically they've tried already the books, the podcasts, the YouTube videos, and they're finding the conventional advice just isn't really making a difference. Well, let me explain a couple of things that are really, really important to understand if you were in that situation. And stay to the end because I'm going to deliver some really powerful truth bombs in this video. First of all, the marriage is difficult, the marriage is stressful, and even in some ways the marriage is abusive, right? Because a person with narcissistic traits, and I'm sure you've heard this or read this, they approach relationships in an exploitive way, right? They're in the relationship to see what they can get out of the relationship. Now, that's bad, and couples therapy experts have identified that that's a very problematic dynamic, right? It's an established piece of science, actually, by research done by the John and Julie Gottman at the Gottman Institute, that one of the markers, jot this down if you want, one of the markers of a successful relationship over the long term is that the two individuals hold themselves to a high standard of behavior and hold their partner to a high standard of behavior, right? And if those fall away, then the marriage is going to be less than successful. Now, in the case of the kinds of marriages that we work with and you might find yourself in, that second one particularly is not happening, right? The wife, typically it's the wife, not always, but typically it's the wife that is allowing poor behavior from their husband. And you might be saying, allowing, I've tried everything to stop it and I can't stop it. Well, I want to explain why this is so crucial, and then I'm going to explain how to turn it around. Now, it's not just crucial from just a relationship research or relationship science perspective that, if bad behavior is tolerated, then it bodes poorly for the relationship. It's much bigger than that. It's much, much bigger than that. Here's why. And if you are a follower of Jesus, you'll totally understand why I'm going here. If you're not, no problem. Listen anyways, and just take what I'm saying as, this is just, the wisdom from an ancient wise person. Take it at that level, that's fine. Back in Genesis chapter 1, in the story of creation, God creates the heavens and the earth and other things, and ultimately the pinnacle of God's creation is humankind. And very specifically, unique from the other bits of creation that he does, he says, let's create humankind in our image, in our likeness. Now, theologians have squabbled for a long time about what exactly that means. And I'm going to fill you in on an archaeologically based explanation for what that means. So here's the story. Explanation for what that means. So here's the story. Some decades ago, a farmer was tilling his field, and his tiller kind of clunked against a rock. And they excavated, long story short, they excavated and dug up a statue of a king in the region from years previous, like before Christ. And that statue of a king had an inscription on it. And the inscription, I'm not going to quote it because it's in Aramaic, but the inscription was basically, here stands the statue of King blah, blah, blah. And this statue represents the authority of the king. And so basically, this statue is standing in, it's representing the king. Now, the words that were used there in the inscription on that statue was image and likeness. So here we have the Lord in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 saying, let's create humankind in our image and likeness. So what that means is I am and you are the representation of God on planet Earth. Now, I need to expand that because this is super powerful and super important. Representation, think of it in terms of, the U.S. ambassador to Finland or something. The U.S. ambassador, when he or she has an ambassadorial visit, when that ambassador speaks, he or she is carrying the weight, the authority. He or she is speaking on behalf of the nation. You have that power, you have that authority, you have that significance. That it's when I speak with you, it's as if I'm speaking to the Lord. Let that sink in for a little bit. The way I speak to you, the way I treat you is as if I'm speaking to the Lord, as if the way I'm treating the Lord. So what that means for you, if you're in a marriage that is less than ideal, if you're in a marriage that is a narcissistic husband that is exploiting you, this is very, very significant and important for him, but also for you. For him, because if he is disrespectful, if he is undermining your dignity, it is as if he is disrespecting and undermining the Lord, because you are the image and likeness, just like that statue is the image and likeness of the king. The statue carries the authority of the king. You carry the authority of the Lord. Now, your husband has to answer for his behavior on Judgment Day. That's another story. But for you, this is a super important and a super challenging message to really embrace and understand that he has a problem. And if he doesn't, kind of repent before Judgment Day, then he's got a real problem. But for you, you have a problem because you are tolerating that. That's not okay. That also is not okay in the Lord's eyes. That's why the Russell Healing Institute has created the Detox the Marriage program, because we want to walk with you to a different place in your marriage. We want to walk with you in a way that creates a different dynamic in your marriage so that you do not have to tolerate maltreatment. You do not please and appease the narcissist to just put up with bad treatment, hoping that he'll get better by himself and he'll treat you better if you're just nice. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Our program works with the wife, and we transform her heart, mind, and spirit so that she is calm and confident in her very core. And we found again and again that forces a change. In a quiet and gentle way, it forces a change in the dynamic in the marriage. And suddenly the husband becomes behaving differently. We've seen it again and again. We have seen marriages be transformed. We've seen couples go on second honeymoons as a result of the work that we've done. If you're curious, If you want that, then click the link below, find out more, and let's get your marriage turned around, because you are the image and likeness of the Lord. You are the representation of the Lord. You are the ambassador for the Lord. And as ambassador, as representation, you should not tolerate disrespect or undermining your dignity. Reach out, find out more. While you're at it, subscribe to this channel, because we are putting content out weekly, and I want you to be the first to find out about what gets released. All right?